Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Hana Asy'ari. I'm from 6A English Education Department. In this video, I will explain 5 terms in qualitative research in ELT subject. I took a case study and entitled is Teaching and Learning Vocabulary Through Song at the second semester of 8th grade students of S.Pd 6 Bandar Lampung academic year of 2015-2016. The first one is data analysis. In the definition, analysis is a major aspect of the research process. There are many ways to do data analysis in qualitative research, but the goal is largely the same: to understand the data that has been collected and organized into groups or categories to prepare for the data interpretation. Qualitative research is this research that is concerned with the opinions, ideas, events, and perceptions formed by a group or individuals using several tools such as observation and interview in order to reveal the reality and then analyze and interpret the data. So there are steps of qualitative data analysis. The first one is organizing the data, where the researcher reads the text and immerses himself in the details and tries to reach the essence of the data using the written text and five notes and then examining them in order to build a meaning for the data. And the second one is description and classification in quotes. The essence of qualitative data lies here, and researchers build a detailed description and then compose codes and present ideas. The researcher encodes the text collected from interview and observation. The third is developing and evaluating explanation. The process of interpretation requires creativity and the ability to criticize and make judgment in order to extract what is behind the coding and then develop and organize the ideas. And the last is data presentation. By using tables, figure, or image, it contains text and not numbers, so the type of the data is chosen based on what answers the research question and then display the qualification and interpretation of the researcher, whether using manual analysis or with the help of computer programs. Dan contoh dari data analysis di skripsi yang saya temukan di sini adalah kita bisa lihat di sini ada penjelasan data analysis. Data analysis is the process of organizing the data in order to obtain regularity of the pattern of form of the researcher. Nah, di sini ada penjelasan tentang data analisis, proses data analisis dalam skripsi ini yang meliputi yang pertama ada data reduction, kedua ada data display yang meliputi observing the teaching and learning process, interview the teacher, and giving questionnaire. And the third is conclusion drawing or verification. And next term in qualitative research is questionnaire. Questionnaire are instruments for the collection of data, usually in written form, consisting of methods consisting of open response item or question and or closed response item or question which require a response from respondents. Questionnaire ini dapat diklasifikasikan menjadi dua di penelitian kuantitatif dan kualitatif. Specifically, answer obtained through closed-ended question with multiple choice answer options are analyzed using quantitative method. Research findings in the case can be illustrated using tabulation by cards, and percentage. Answer obtained to open-ended questionnaire question, also known as an uncertain question, on the other hand, are analyzed using qualitative methods. Primary data collected Using open-ended questionnaires involve discussion and critical analysis without use of numbers and calculation. There are types of questionnaire. Di sini ada tipe-tipe dari questionnaire itu sendiri yang meliputi computer questionnaire, telephone questionnaire, in-house survey, mail questionnaire, open question questionnaires, multiple choice question, dictamus question, and scoring questions. Di peneliti di skripsi saya ini, skripsi yang saya teliti ini menggunakan questionnaire untuk memperoleh datanya. Nah, kita bisa lihat di sini. Cari contohnya. Nah, di sini ada giving questionnaire. Nah, di step ini researchers give questionnaire to student in the step to conduct the problem in learning vocabulary through song. Nah, di sini researcher menggunakan questionnaire sebagai pemerolehan datanya, yang mana diberikan kepada siswa-siswa atau partisipan untuk kita dapatkan datanya melalui penelitian yang kita akan teliti, yaitu teaching learning vocabulary through song at the second semester of 8th grade. Jadi, apakah mengajar menggunakan lagu ini bagaimanakah, apakah bisa kondusif atau tidak? And the third is trustworthiness. For the quantitative studies, it's referred to as validity and gradability. However, in qualitative studies, this concept is more obscure because it's put in different terms. Since qualitative research does not use instruments with established metric about validity and reliability, it's patient to address how qualitative research established that the research studies findings are credible, transferable, confirmable, and defendable. The first one is credibility. It's the how confident the qualitative researcher in the truth of the research study's findings. The second is transferability. It's how the qualitative research demonstrates that the research study's findings are applicable to other contexts. And the third one is confirmability. It's the degree of neutrality in the research study's findings. In other words, this means that the findings are based on participants' response and not any potential bias or personal motivation or the researchers. And finally, dependability is the extent that the study could be repeated by the other researchers and that the finding will be consistent. In other words, if a person wants to replicate your study, they should have enough information from your research report to do so and obtain similar findings as your study. Kita akan lihat bagaimana transfunder dalam penelitian ini. Nah, this is trustworthiness of the data, yang meliputi credibility, transferability, dependability, and confirmability, seperti yang telah saya jelaskan tadi. For the next is triangulation. Triangulation is a method of use to increase the credibility and validity of research findings. Credibility refers to trustworthiness and how believable a study is. Validity is concerned with the extent to which a study actually reflects or evaluates the concept or ideas being investigated. Triangulation by combining theories, methods, or observers in a research study can help ensure the fundamental basis arising from the use of a single method or a single observer are critical. And triangulation is also an effort to help explore and explain complex human behavior using a variety of methods to offer a more balanced explanation to readers. It's a procedure that enables validation of data and be used in both quantitative and qualitative studies. There are four types of triangulation are proposed by Denzin. There are data triangulation, which includes methods such as periods of time, space, and people, and investigator triangulation, which includes the use of several researchers in a study, and theory triangulation, which encourages several theoretical systems and to enable interpretation of phenomena, and methodological triangulation, which promote the use of several data collection methods such as interview and observation. The last one is observation. Qualitative observation is the research process of using subjective methodologies to gather information or data. Since the focus of qualitative observation is to equate quality differences, it's a lot more time-consuming than quantitative observation, but the sample size used is much smaller and the research is extensive and a lot more personal. Qualitative observation deal with the five major sensory organs and their functioning: sight, smell, touch, taste, and hearing. This doesn't involve measurement or number, but instead characteristic. Selanjutnya ada tipe dari observasi di penelitian kualitatif ini. Yang pertama ada complete observer. In this type of qualitative observation, the researcher is completely unknown to the research audience and cannot even be seen, and this type of research gives the audience more freedom to speak because they think they are not being observed or checked. But this method of quantitative observation is losing ground over other types because of privacy issues. In today's day and world, one can observe you without your knowledge. The second one is observer as participants. In this type of qualitative observation, the researcher is now the focus of group or the people in the sample undergoing the study. In the study type, the end goal of the researcher is known to everyone. In this case, the observer can play an active part in the discussion, but its preferred education given are limited so that it doesn't influence the research outcome or weigh the group towards a certain bias. And the third one is participant observer. In this type of qualitative observation, the observer completely indulges the participant in this discussion, even though the participant discuss in entirety with the observer, they don't know what the observer is also researcher. And the last one is complete participant. This research type is used to search topics or research areas that you wouldn't want to revolve feathers with. In this case, the researcher is completely in sync with the participants. The discussion are free following the whole bar on the researcher indulges and this discussion immediately. Nah, saya akan menunjukkan contoh dari triangulation. Nah, di mana dalam skripsi ini menggunakan triangulation. Menggunakan teknik triangulation. There are triangulation source, triangulation technique, triangulation time. And triangulation source are from teacher, friend, and parents. Triangulation technique are observation, interview, and questionnaire. Di sini menggunakan teknik triangulation yang meliputi observasi, interview, dan questionnaire. Tadi yang terakhir adalah observasi. Nah, lihat ini menggunakan observasi di mana observasi ini untuk kita dapat mendapatkan data-data yang kita butuhkan. Nah, di sini dijelaskan bahwa that observation was conducted in two meetings. In collecting the data, the researcher employed an observation, which is become the main instrument. The research observed the students, the teacher, and the teaching learning process and the situation of classroom process. Dan di sini researcher ini mengobservasi untuk mendapatkan instrumen utama yang mana akan mengobservasi meliputi observasi murid, guru, lalu pembelajaran, teaching learning process, dan situasi di kelas saat mengajar. That's all the 5 terms in qualitative research. Thank you very much. That's all from me. Sorry for the wrong word or lack of the explanation. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.